Hello, sisters. Welcome to season 2 of the Rising Feminine Online Temple, which is a 7 days initiation for women to journey back to their true essence. My name is Jonita D'Souza, your feminine lifestylist, and the keeper of this online temple, where I have gathered leading visionaries from around the world to join forces and initiate you in your authentic feminine. Today is World Femininity Day, and to honor this day, joining us is the founder of World Femininity Day, Zoe Charles, and where she will be leading us into an opening ceremony for this season 2 of the Rising Feminine Online Temple. A big part of my work as a feminine lifestylist is to invite women to indulge into everyday rituals so that they feel nurtured, nourished, and fulfilled in their daily busy lifestyle. So as part of this online temple, I invite you to create a safe, sacred container for you to be present, maybe light a candle, grab a journal, but gift yourself the time to receive the offerings present in this online temple space. I also invite you for the next 6 days to give yourself the time to experience this journey with us, because each of the teachers that I have gathered have a very special message for your initiation. But today, let's welcome once again the founder of World Femininity Day, Zoe Charles. Welcome.
Hello. Lovely to be here.
Yes, what a pleasure it is to be here and doing this once again after last year's reviews and testimonials that I had from the women. It was amazing. A lot of women could relate to your opening ceremony last time, the poem that you took us through. I think it really touched the hearts of a lot of women. And also the teachings of various other teachers in this temple space last year was very beautifully received. So I'm so happy to be doing this again, and I'm so happy to have you again opening this Rising Feminine Online Temple.
Oh, pleasure.
So before we begin for today, for the women watching, let me read a little bit about Zoe so that you can know her sacred work a little bit more. Zoe Charles is a performer, teacher, and a femininity coach. She founded the award-winning School of Burlesque and Cabaret, The Cheek of It, in 2007, and has now taught over 7,000 women worldwide. As a femininity coach and advocate for feminine empowerment and celebration, Zoe founded World Femininity Day in 2011, which attracted over 30,000 people from around 73 countries and raised money to end female genital cutting for Orchid Project in 2012 and 2015. As an actress and deviser, Zoe has her own sellout solo show, Memoirs of a Slutsky, which I've been to, and it was an awesome one. Inspired by her real-life story of meeting her biological father in 2011. Zoe also has been featured in the press and on the TV for all of the above, hailed as an entrepreneur by the Londonist, described as Adrian Mole meets Caitlin Moran. By Exit Magazine, awarded a London Cabaret Award for her contribution to the burlesque and cabaret community, and in 2015 spoke about the celebration of femininity at TEDx. Most recently, Zoe has become a mother to a little boy and remains committed to empowering and inspiring her audience, students, peers, friends, and followers with a wiggle and a wink and as much cheeky fun as humanly possible. So it's so nice to read all of this and to know you from the work that you have been doing since so many years, and to have you here to see you how you have grown as a woman into the various aspects of your life. We women watching, I'm sure I know a little bit about it, and I'm sure the women watching will be really curious to know, why did you start this work that you're doing, and how come you went about creating a day such as World Femininity Day?
Sure. Thanks for reading my bio. It's always really interesting, isn't it? You're like, oh, it sounds really good. It's like connected to the contribution that we make to the world on a daily basis, are we? So when someone reads it, okay. World Femininity Day started in 2011, and I'd been running the Chica Fit School of Burlesque for four and a bit years by then, and I noticed something really amazing happening. I was running classes like 2 hours a week with the opportunity to perform, and so many women were taking this opportunity to come and learn burlesque with me, but a surprising outcome was that other areas of their life started to shift in really powerful and transformative ways. Their body confidence, feeling connected to themselves as women, new friendships, identifying themselves as feminine in a positive way, as opposed to seeing it to a weakness, which is very much what we've been taught to view, how we've been taught to view femininity. Relationships changing, jobs changing, maybe giving up jobs that no longer fulfilled them, and their whole kind of lives kind of shifting to very beautifully of ease and grace towards something that was more fulfilling for them. I thought, wow, this is really fascinating. That the testimonials I was getting was like, well, this is far more than a dance class. And then it occurred to me that really what we were offering and what we still offer is a safe space to have fun, to celebrate, and to connect to your femininity, your feminine essence, your feminine energy, your divinity, your sexuality. But the sexuality, I feel, is all wrapped up in that feminine energy. So it's the two, they have to come together. And giving women that opportunity to play. Because in everyday life, especially, I think things have changed so much since 2011 already, but especially at that time, what I was being confronted with was a lot of women that were struggling, burning out, having not enough fun in their lives, not finding the relationship they want to be in, and just competing in that way that we have been taught to do, and we're really flipping good at, as in, if you want equality, then you've got to be like a man. And we've been doing that for so long, and to an extent, it's got us some really great results, but there's also been a huge price to pay, which is disconnection from ourselves, feeling lost and burning out as women. It just doesn't really serve us to only work from our masculine energy. So that was going on. And at the same time, I really felt that there was an assault on the feminine. In 2011, I'd read quite a few things about female genital cutting. I'd also read about an article on sex trafficking, and all of this stuff is going on all the time. So I'm not naive to think that that isn't, but it just happened that at that time I read a particular article about sex trafficking, and I couldn't disconnect from the pain and the grief and the trauma of that article. I was so moved in a way that I couldn't sleep. There was something ignited within me that was like, something has to be done. And it felt that it was on a global scale, and maybe I couldn't do anything to help these particular women, but the fact that the feminine was being so oppressed, so assaulted, so destroyed and exploited, not just in women, but in men as well. And anyone who wants to express femininity, it felt at that time like a very very bad, negative, oppressive time. And the third part of World Femininity Day is that I'm a big believer in manifesting and the law of attraction. So I knew if I was going to do anything about re-educating people about feminine energy, it had to be in line with the universal laws of manifesting and attracting what we like, the energy that we want into our lives. So it was actually the same year as the Slut Walks, which I thought were really impressive, amazing endeavor, but I didn't want to do it that way. I didn't want to do it in an angry, like fixated on the problem kind of way. And not that anger isn't incredibly important in what we do if it's authentically expressed, but I just knew that the focus had to be on celebrating femininity, acknowledging femininity, and recreating what femininity means to each and every one of us, and how doing that could actually change the world, which is still my belief. And the incredible thing is, since 2011, there are now so many women doing this work and men doing this work. It's changing. Like, it really is tangible. Like, I can talk about femininity in 2018 and people get it. Whereas in 2011, it was just such a negative response to it. I got a lot of negativity from feminists. I got, which is crazy because I identify as a feminist. I got a lot of misguided understandings from men. It was just getting it. I was like, how are people not getting this? I'm not asking you to be weaker. I'm asking you to be more powerful through your source. But I'm so delighted that now that is a conversation I rarely have to have, because people really get it. And I think there's a universal awakening.
Yeah, and I totally agree with the fact that times are changing and each one of us are doing our own part in, by either our personal journey or sharing it with the world, because people are recognizing. And I know when I started doing this work as well, yeah, I was getting a lot of hate emails, especially from women. I was really surprised that women they identified themselves as feminists, and they said that this is not going to change the world. Softening is not going to change the world. And also some men. So yeah, and today everywhere I share the work or the word, even people understand it more and they can relate more and they're more curious, I should say. There's this seed of awakening.
Yeah, beautiful.
So before we began our call, I went into a small quick meditation to tap into our energies and see what we are here to share. And I pulled up a goddess oracle card, and I want to share that with you.
Oh, I'm so excited. My favorite.
Yeah.
I'm in Cyprus. I'm in Cyprus. This is the goddess of Cyprus. How perfect, Janita. You are so...
This is so perfect. Yeah, I know. I got this card and I was like, oh my God, this is Zoe. Because what we're going to share about is also remembering the magic and your story from there, but the inner goddess itself, which Aphrodite is blessing her presence with.
Stunning.
So I want to ask you in a word or two, do you feel resonance to this goddess in this moment as I shared that to you?
Yeah, especially because I know that card, she talks about dancing.
Yeah.
And that is, what I stand for, is that celebration of the feminine body, like being in our bodies and dancing and shaking and just, connecting. And so I love that goddess. Plus, I'm in Cyprus.
So, Zoe, let's begin our conversation about remembering your magic. When you say that, what did you have in your mind when we want to discuss this today?
Okay, well, I wanted to recap a little bit, especially for your viewers who tuned in last year.
Yeah.
And it's in the sharing of the story that I can answer that question, because it came about in a very magical way. So when I did this last year with you, I'd had my son Oshan in the November 2016. So I was a very new mum, like 6 months in. I was not in a great place, and I shared very authentically with yourself and your followers that a very raw poem that had been literally downloaded from the divine feminine herself, about coming home to myself, to my body, and not recognizing myself anymore. And that really didn't have anything to do with my relationship with my son, which is Taurus. It was my relationship with myself. And having gone through postnatal depression and post-birth trauma and all of those things, me thinking, I won't get those things because, I've done all this work on myself. I was kind of, I guess now looking back, was quite an arrogant place, which I think all of us who do a lot of personal development, spiritual development work can get into that place that somehow we have now ascended. And it was a very humbling experience to go through this first year. So when I shared with you all last time, that was where I was at. And I remember when we did our ceremony, it was one of the first times I had reconnected and sat and had flowers and candles going and had that beautiful sacredness in my life and felt so present to it. And it was a real gift that you asked me to do it, because it helped me step back in. So here we are a year on, and it was the continuation of the year still had a lot of ups and downs, and there was a lot of healing for myself and my partner, and how we came together as a family. And towards the end of the first year of my son's life, we actually we've left London, which was crazy. We were there for 17. I was there for 17 years. You can hear in the background. Oh, I hope you naps. And I left. It was a really weird thing. We ended up having to leave kind of under not the best circumstances. So it wasn't like a kind of joyous decision, but it felt like, okay, we have to go now. A desire for me for countryside, for reconnection, for to being closer to my family. And we really looked everywhere, not knowing where we were going to go. And then one day we happened to come out into Oxfordshire, which is a particular town near where I was growing up with my grandma, my mum, and my family when I was very, very little. Hadn't thought of this town for a long time. But we came off the M40 and we were driving down these country roads, and it was the weirdest sensation. I literally felt the hedgerows start to whisper to me. And there was like something in the soil in this Oxfordshire place that resonated with me, and it was very much a calling me home feeling. Now, my grandma had actually lived in the nearby village for 40 odd years. She wasn't there at the time because she had gone to live near my mum in a home, and she's was very, very old. So there was some kind of connection there, and we just had to trust ourselves. So we ended up moving to this funny little town called Tame. Maybe some of you know it. It's a bit of a culture shock from London, but there was something about this little place that's drawn us to it. So that was going on. And then Oshan turned 1, and just before he turned 1, I got an opportunity. I was asked to speak and perform with a theatre company to celebrate their 50th year anniversary. And there was something about that as well that allowed me to just, speaking my truth in front of an audience, again allowed me to come back into my body. During that 1 year mark, I felt like everything had changed so dramatically, and the whole year, even though it had been very uncomfortable, was a rite of passage and incredibly sacred, and it's brought a lot of it shone a lot of light on the shadows for me, and I'm doing the shadow work with women and not always thinking that this amazing divine feminine work that we do should look like the yoga poster or the Thailand retreat. It's not going to look like that every day. And as a mother, I can tell you, you don't get those opportunities so often to do all that sacred work. So there's ways around it, which is what I've been really taught. So anyway, I will fast forward a little bit. So unfortunately, my grandma passed away in December. And the amazing thing that happened, it was my grandma who was a spiritual worker, colour healer, and did a lot of amazing work throughout her life. There was something about her passing that it felt like the baton was passed on to me. And she started very quickly, because she's quite cheeky, my grandma, working through me, and a lot of projects that she wanted to do, I feel are now getting channeled through me. So I had this amazing experience, maybe just only a couple of weeks after she passed away, where sorry, it's my son in the background. You're just going to have to bear with us once we do a little. My husband is just quickly rescuing my son, and he's going to take him away. Can you hear him?
A little bit. He's welcome.
Welcome. Maybe not in a grumpy mood though. God, he normally naps straight through this time. This is it. Any mums out there will resonate with this. Mums to be.
Oops.
I'll try and carry on whilst he's in the background. So, okay. So I had this amazing experience where I did a meditation, and my grandma came through very strongly, and I had this memory of when I lived with her when I was about 5 or 6 years old, and we were in the garden of her house, and it was like there was a whisper in my ear, and it literally said, "Remember your magic." And it was so, if you've had those kind of whispers, or that kind of interaction from an angel or from someone in your life, where it literally feels like that. You have to sit up like, who's that? Well, it was my grandma literally speaking directly to me. And then she said a beautiful phrase to me, which was this: "Forgive what needs to be forgiven. Remember your magic. Begin it now." And I was completely blown away. And we hadn't even had her funeral at this time. So when we had her funeral, I read this out to the congregation. So this is my grandma's message. And it was just, it resonated with me so much. I had to start writing it down everywhere. Like I wrote, remember your magic, remember your magic. And it was the way she said it. It wasn't remember your magic. I don't know, it was a particular tone. Like, it wasn't remember your magic tricks. It was remember your magic. It was so profound and just has been echoing everywhere in my life now. And I've been writing that message to a lot of people and speaking it. And then out of that came an amazing new calling called the Sacred Showgirl, which is a combination of all the work they do. So it's about the amazing celebration of women and our need to be seen, the feminine, to be seen, to be celebrated, to be adorned, to be acknowledged, to move, and to be brought together with our sacredness. So now I've launched a whole new program, and I've got these sisterhood circles running. It was like literally this force came through after an entire year of feeling like in the wilderness and completely disconnected. So it's been an incredible, well, he's now 17 months. It's been an incredible 17 months, and my grandma's work has been, yeah, it's coming through really strong. So in a long answer to your question, but your question was, how did you come to be to this remember your magic? And it was really a gift from her. So now I'm on a mission to help women to remember their magic, to forgive what needs to be forgiven, and to take inspired action now. So the exercise that I'm going to take us into is about that. So it's a guided meditation. So I just invite everyone who's watching to get really comfy. And also, just to remind you that as I go on about being a mum a lot now, which is probably quite boring for some people, but I had all this time before to do my rituals and have everything. Now, let me tell you, I have my crystals in my little special crystal sacred place. Oshan is obsessed with going to fetch them. When he gets in my office, he goes and he gets them, and he takes them and he throws them down the loo. That is now what happens to me. So I'm just going to put it out there to all you women that you can just declare that something is sacred, and the power of that is enough. If you get the opportunity, you can use your sacred water, you can put stuff in the moon, but if you don't, it's okay as well. You can just declare it, and you can pull forth that inner glow and that sacredness anytime you want. So we're traveling, we're in Cyprus. I have like a few little bits, this beautiful amethyst I bought the other day, my rose quartz pendant I got here, and some other little bits that I have, and like, this is it. This is my ritual traveling. So I have these little bits in front of me. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching, just gather your stuff and light your candle, and yeah, take a moment to relax. So I invite you to let Janita take a sip of water. Okay. So, hand on your heart, hand on your womb, on this beautiful World Femininity Day, which, by the way, I chose the 24th of June because of peonies, and I'm inspired by peonies. So if you want to have the thought of a peony in your mind, a beautiful luscious flower that just opens in that divinely feminine way, that has that cheeky flirtatiousness about it, then please too, I invite you to. I'm working a lot with rose quartz and that pale pink. So I'm also going to bring in that beautiful love energy right now to our meditation. Oh, so hand on heart, hand on womb. And all I want you to do is take 3 deep breaths. And we're going to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, because I want you to let go. Feel your feet firmly on the floor. Okay, so deep breath in. And I want you to imagine shards of stunning white light coming through the soles of your feet, down, down, down to the center of the earth, to the earth crystal, to Mother Gaia, wrapping a beautiful light around Mother Gaia. And in return, she is sending up the most beautiful rose quartzy, kind of slightly darker pink tinge of red energy, sparkly, evanescent energy racing up, like turning on a light switch, coming up into the soles of your feet. You can feel it. It's really strong up into through your legs, into your root chakra and infusing all of your chakras with beautiful effervescent energy coming out of the top of your head, out of your crown chakra, now beautiful purpley indigo, connecting with the heavens above, the angelic realm, which I'm calling in to help us with this, to the universe and beyond. You are supported, you are loved, you are nourished, and you are held. Just take a moment to appreciate that feeling, to connect, feel the connection, to send out any feelings of gratitude for the guidance that's coming in to each and every one of you right now to help you with this. Okay, so the first part of the ceremony to prepare you for this beautiful temple that you are entering is we are going to forgive what needs to be forgiven. Okay, and we are asking the angels to help us with this. Now, I'm working a lot with Archangel Ariel, which I know is not the official forgiveness angel, but it is the angel I'm working with. So Ariel is present, very connected with nature and animals. Okay, so this beautiful angel, I want you to see in front of you now. Feel that warmth and connection and safety that she is offering. And she is now asking you the question, what needs to be forgiven? And it's the very first thing that comes into your mind. It might be a person, it might be yourself, it might be something from a long, long time ago. It might be a situation. It might be something you're angry at and you don't even understand why. As our feminine rises with such urgency now, we are being asked to forgive with urgency as well, to let go. So whatever it is that needs to be forgiven, I want you to take that now in symbol form. Maybe it's a heavy rock. Maybe it's something in your life that you also don't want or need. And you take that in your hand and offer it to Archangel Ariel, who takes it with joy and a smile. And she's smiling at you because she's so glad that you have chosen to let go of this now, because she's been waiting for a long time for you to let go of it. And in her smiling at you, you are gifted release, because you can let it go and you can smile to yourself and you can stop the significance and the heaviness and the seriousness of which you have been treating this resentment. And you can see, just like Alice in Wonderland, that this is all just a pack of cards. Ready to transform, ready to let go. It doesn't exist. And Ariel takes the gift that you have given her to dispose of, and she throws it into the air. And as she does, you look up and see hundreds of pink butterflies, pale pink butterflies, fluttering away with blessings. You can now take this opportunity to bless whatever it was, the person, the situation, yourself, with the gentle art of blessing, which is the ultimate gift of love, with softness, with ease, and with grace. Okay, rubbing your heart center and your womb, feeling at home in your body, connected to your love, connected to your source in your womb. Breathe new life into your body, feeling lightness and relief and a little bit of humour, but you don't know why you were hanging on to that for so long. It's now gone, just like that. Okay, both hands onto your womb. Feel your belly. Charge your belly with love. This is such an important part of our body as women. We are told to suppress and to loathe this area if it's not exactly perfect as the patriarchy dictates to us. So I want you to give your belly a lot of love right now. And if it's a jiggly belly like mine, you can give it a jiggle and really give it some love. Infuse it, stroke it, rub it. This is your beautiful center, the core of you, and in turn the core of the universe, core of the world, right here. Okay, so I want you to take a moment to remember the first time you knew you were magical. And if you have the thought of, I never have, or I can't do that, just say thank you very much and just send that thought away, because I promise you, you can do it. We all came into this human experience with light and joy and magic, a magic gift for you to use, to enjoy this life, and for you to gift to others, to raise the vibration of this planet with your magic and your gift. When you were a little girl or a little boy, there was a time when you knew, without question, you knew your magic. And I want you to get curious about any colours, objects, symbols, memories that are coming into your mind right now. Something that might have been forgotten, or maybe makes no sense, but just let it be. Whatever that is, trust that you are awakening your magic with so much power right now in this ceremony, on this day. And I want you to place one hand on your womb and one hand on your heart again. And feel that recharge, that magic that is at home in your body, waiting to be shared. And I want you now to take your hands together and to rub them. The magic that you possess. To place them on your forehead, on your throat, on your heart, on your solar plexus, on your womb. Take them up to the sky. Thank you for the moon energy and the angelic realm energy. Pull that down all around you. And touch the soles of your feet. And place your feet on the floor again, connecting down to Mother Earth. You have remembered, recharged and reset your magic. So the last thing we're going to do in this meditation is we're going to begin it now. You have recharged, you have reset. My question to you is, what are you curious about? And again, the first thing that comes into your mind, even if it makes no sense, your curiosity is part of your magic. It is the divine feminine leading you to fall in line with your soul path calling, to fall in line with what honors you in this world and how you can honor your life. And quite often the thing that you are curious about also makes you laugh or bemuses you. So invite that cheekiness and invite that mischief into your life. Now make a note of your curiosity, and that is your first inspired action. Follow your curiosity. So 3 deep breaths. Thank you to the angels who have helped us today. Thank you to your guides and your higher self. Thank you to the divine feminine powers within us all. Thank you to Janita for holding this space. And thank you to you and your magic being reawakened. I look forward to hearing all of your inspired actions and your curiosities. So that is the guided meditation for day 1.
Amazing. I'm still not back yet.
Take your time.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be posting in the group about their curiosity and inspired action, and probably also tag you so you can come along and see what the women are sharing and how we can celebrate each other's magic. Continue that.
I can't wait. I can't wait to hear.
It feels so good. I just feel like butterflies here. It just feels so good now. Oh my God. And my curiosity was something around food, that I need to go and cook something really healthy.
There you go. That's the inspired action.
Oh my God, yes.
Post a picture of the beautiful food that you cook, please.
Yeah. I need to explore that a little bit more. Thank you so much. This feels so good. Feels so good. My body's feeling really warm and alive.
I feel inspired to share one more thing, and that again, it's my grandma Meryl. She wrote this beautiful. My mum just found it. This beautiful page on the gentle art of blessing, and we were discussing today. I'm not sure if she copied it from I think there's a book, The Gentle Art of Blessing, or if she wrote it herself. But it was so stunning. And I just want to remind everybody that you have that power to bless. And oh my gosh, how beautiful is that? Because you were just doing the blessings in Glastonbury.
Yeah.
That's just gorgeous. That's just, so thank you for doing that. And yeah, maybe because I'm speaking to you, it's particularly being drawn in the gentle art of blessing. So I just want to remind everyone to do that as you're doing these ceremonies. You have that beautiful power, and I'm excited, and I'm excited about being inspired by everybody's magic.
Yeah, I really like that you brought this topic of gentle art of blessing, and we have the power, because I think a lot of us underestimate that. We think that, we have to be some elder in the family, or a priest or a priestess, or somebody who knows a lot of esoteric stuff to be able to bless and, to have the power to bless. But as you said, that each one of us have it inside of us, the power, the magic. We just have to remember, tap in, and continue blessing. Amazing. So Zoe, I know that you also have a free gift to offer to the women watching today. Would you like to please share about that?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're inspired by the work that I do and would like to find out more, I would love to give you a free discovery call to find out more about femininity coaching, or the Sacred Circle, the Sacred Showgirl Circle, and remembering your magic and falling in line with your soul path calling. So it would be my pleasure to speak to you and find out all about you and what you're working on in your life, and see how I can be of assistance and help you remember your magic.
Awesome. So I'm going to also have the link below the video so they can access it. And I can really vouch for Zoe's work once again, because I've seen it, I've read it, I've heard it. Thank you so much, Zoe, for doing this work, for creating these days for all of us to come together. We are aiming that we are reaching around over 50,000 women today by this share. So, we are from all over the place. So
that's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, let me invite those women today, on this beautiful day, post a picture of yourself celebrating your feminine. And the very first year we did it, and quite a few years afterwards, we put a flower in our hair. So if it's flowers that calls to you, please post that and share it with Julia and myself. And I can't wait to see all those images.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. We need to do something to celebrate. We need to do something even more to celebrate today. So, Zoe, one more last question that I have for you, that I will be asking every single teacher who will be present in this online temple is Rising Feminine. What does Rising Feminine mean to you in a line or two in this present moment?
Rising Feminine means to me an awakening, and it means to me, it's quite boisterous actually for me right now. It's like, the rising is so urgent and so powerful. It's like, rise or get out of the way. That is really how I feel about it. And I feel it on a cellular level. Like, I feel like there's an urgency coming through the earth and through the feminine that is rising in all of us. And I feel like don't discount all the little things that you do, because they're having a huge impact in the world. And I always liken this to cranial osteopathy, where you have those little tiny adjustments done there, and then your whole body falls in alignment with itself, as opposed to the osteopathy that's more like this, that's the older people, you have to force it and push it into your pain. Whereas this feminine rising is like, there's small little adjustments coming through our bodies, coming through the earth, and we are falling in line with something very beautiful. And at the same time with that, it's urgent, and whether you feel it or not, it's happening.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your presence, for sharing your medicine and sharing all of the gifts that you have and your magic here in this online temple. Sorry.
Thank you, Denise. Thank you for doing this and holding this beautiful space for us all. Gorgeous.